everybody, Gisele Grenier here. So as we're doing color mixing and you're going through some of my tutorials that I have and going back as far back as whatever, one of the colors I like using a lot of is Alizarin Crimson, and I say you shouldn't use a pure Alizarin Crimson because it fades with light. Most good brands now, they have a replacement color. Yeah, well, what if you don't? What if you can't get a replacement color? What if there's nothing? What if they only have the pure? Now, I'm going to be picking on Decor for this, for the media line, is that they don't have Alizarin Crimson. And actually, they didn't, at the time of filming, they didn't have a Alizarin Crimson. So I'm going to show you how you can make your own. It will require a color that you likely don't have, but I'll mention a substitute if you kind of get stuck. So you will probably need, if you really like using it, try to find it. I use the permanent Alizarin Crimson from Decor because it's the closest match and it's a single pigment. But if if you don't use Alizarin Crimson a lot, then you can get away with not even bother. Just go with a quinacridone violet, and although it's a little bit more, it's not quite the same, it's a little bit lighter, it'll do you fine. But I'm going to show you how to make something close. So first of all, let's get a base color down here. And I'm just going to go through the colors in a second. And I should have had my paints already prepared. Sorry. And let's get the value scale going here. Alrighty. So that's Alizarin Crimson in its glorious form. And Alizarin Crimson I use a lot because I use that as one of the colors for my base chromatic black, especially when doing portraits. I take that with phthalo green and you get a black. In oils, it's Alizarin Crimson with Viridian for portraits. For landscapes, you can use Alizarin Crimson with phthalo green blue. It's a beautiful pigment. But if you don't have it, using the media line, don't have it, we can make our own, but it will require an extra paint. So in the limited palette that I'm using, and if you've been following me for a while, you likely have the same limited palette because it's economical. You can mix thousands of colors and you really don't need, anything other than that limited palette. Phthalo green blue, you likely have that already. Quinacridone violet, you could also maybe known as quinacridone magenta. It's PR. This one's PR122. If you have when it's PV, which is a pigment violet, but looks close, that might be okay. Quinacridone magenta. So you want something that's definitely a red violet, but nothing that's too blue. Okay. This is the oddball, quinacridone burnt orange. It is PY206. It is gorgeous. Now, if you don't have this, a close, I guess, would be if you took transparent red iron oxide and transparent yellow iron oxide together, you might get something close. In an absolute emergency, you can try burnt sienna with a little bit of water to make it a bit more transparent. You can try that, but you're not going to get an exact match. But when you're color mixing, you're not going to get an exact match anyways. So let's see what these colors look like. So with the traditions, the paints are super thick and they are so loaded with pigment, so you don't need a lot, but it's about 30, right now it's about 34 degrees outside Celsius with the humidity, so things are drying really fast. Let's look at the labeling. Okay, so in intensity, the strength, the intensity of the color, phthalo green is 10.9, quinacridone burnt orange is 10.5, Alizarin Crimson is 9. Oh, sorry, the quinacridone violet is 9. So strongest to lightest to weakest in color saturation. Value-wise, we flip them over. So darkness to lightness, phthalo green blue is the darkest, then quinacridone violet, then quinacridone burnt orange. Okay, so that gives you an idea. Now, quinacridone burnt orange and phthalo green. Sorry, let me try that again. Quinacridone violet, yeah, quinacridone violet and phthalo green are semi-transparent. Quinacridone burnt orange is transparent. Oh my god, I'm trying to make these videos short. Sorry about that. Alright, to get started, what we're going to do is when we look at a color, we automatically think, okay, with the questions that I keep telling you to ask, you look at the color to match. Whether you're looking at a photograph, what's the first color you see? You see red. You look at the color wheel. I see red, but it's not a red that leans towards orange. It's a red that leans towards blue. I know that I have to go over here. Well, let's pretend we don't have this color here. We don't have this color because this is Alizarin Crimson. We're going to go to quinacridone violet. We're going to take that. All right, quinacridone violet. Well, when you're comparing this to this, holy moly macaroni. Like, look at that. That is really, 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 really pinky violet. That's a bit too much on the violet. There's a bit too much blue in that. We need to knock that down a peg. All right. To knock it down, when you look at something with blue, you kind of look at oranges. What I'm looking at specifically is the quinacridone burnt orange. And let me add a little bit of white to that. Let me see if I can do this without. Look at that. So that's why I think you can use burnt sienna, but it's not as intense. That's gorgeous. So we're going to take a little bit of that and put it in here. And yes, I have a little bit of white in my brush. I would say, you know what, the start with equal parts. And get that going. Stop being so lazy. Stop being so lazy. A bit of white. So now, oh, okay, well, we're pretty close. And then you can compare to something right there. We're pretty close. Yeah, we're pretty close. But it's still really intense. I'm going to knock it down a bit. So we're going to knock it down with phthalo green. So what we have is we have something here. And I don't want to knock it down too much. So if you want to think of, you want to take red with green, we have phthalo green that leans towards blue and phthalo green leans towards yellow. If I were to knock it down with phthalo green that leans towards yellow, it might be a bit too dull. I'm going to go with the phthalo green that leans towards blue. You can use either one and try. Oh, that's too much. I used too much. I'm going to have to make a bit more paint. You may not be able to see it on camera. Yeah, a little bit too much. Ah, crud. Okay, well, this should, well, maybe it'll, I don't know if this is going to be okay. It's a little duller. It's a little too dull. Yeah, it's a little duller. It's still got a little bit too much red in it. Let me put a bit more blue or more green. But you know what I'm thinking now? If it's still a little bit too red, what about if we tried it with the green, the phthalo green that leans towards yellow? Let's try that. Keeping in mind, oh my goodness, keeping in mind too, when you're color mixing, we're trying to mix to match a single pigment. It will never happen. This is a single pigment. So you're never going to get a perfect match. So just keep that in mind when doing that, okay? And if you're using, you know, you're using one version of red, a red violet, and I'm using, where is it, a different red violet, don't worry if it doesn't match 100%. All right? But in saying that, you all have burnt sienna. You better all have burnt sienna. Let's do that one too. All right, let me get my color wheel out of the way. You get a fresh brush. let me move this over here. So we're matching to that. All right. So I'm going to take some red violet, and I'm going to take an equal part of quinacridone burnt orange. Let's mix those together. And we are mixing and matching to that. Trying to match as close as possible to that. Okay. Now that I look at this, see, that's a little bit too orange. I'm not sure if adding any of that green. I'm kind of liking this mix right here. But let's see what happens. I want to add now a little bit of the phthalo green yellow. See, it's still too much now. Man, that doesn't take... Yeah, it dulls it down quite a bit. So yeah, so if you want to use it pure, but if you want to dull it down a bit, add a little bit of the green. So the phthalo green yellow, it's a little bit warmer. Leans a bit more towards the yellow, so it's actually not too bad. Let me just make a bit of a bigger mixture here. And a bit more white. Yeah, this isn't bad. So quinacridone violet with quinacridone burnt orange, really close mix, but then you can knock it back with a little bit of green, and then obviously adjust the ratios. You know, I needed to add a little bit more of the quinacridone violet in this because it's a little bit too orange, but you can play with those mixes. But what if you don't have quinacridone burnt orange? Which is very likely that you don't. But you should all have a red violet. Okay, let's take some burnt sienna. Now I don't know what this is going to do because burnt sienna is more opaque. But on the saturation though, it's only a 5, so it's dull. It's really dull. Value wise are close, 3.2 to 3.4. But saturation is 5 on burnt sienna and 9 on quinacridone violet. So burnt sienna is dull. So the quinacridone violet is naturally going to overpower it. So we've got that mix. And let's see what it looks like right off the bat. Huh. I thought I didn't expect. And you know what, you may say, oh, that's a fake, huh? Because you've been doing this for so long. Every time I do color mixing, I can do this exercise in an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, tomorrow and the day after. They're all going to be different because I'm picking up different ratios of the colors. I'm not using a measuring spoon, and that's what makes it so much flippin' fun. It makes it so much fun. I like that. I really like this. I like that. Now what happens if we add a bit of green? Too much. Oh, it means drying. That's not too bad. Okay. Now we take that same mix and add a bit of the phthalo green on the other side. So the phthalo green that leans towards blue seems to be a little bit richer in color, where the phthalo green that leans towards yellow is a bit duller. I can even try to add a little bit more in there. Yeah, it's a little bit richer. So let's do a recap and find out why. So I took quinacridone violet with phthalo green blue and phthalo green yellow, and then I used burnt sienna. So burnt sienna sits right in here. So why do you think using violet with phthalo green yellow and burnt sienna is dull versus violet with phthalo green blue and burnt sienna would be brighter? So we use this one and this one plus burnt sienna, and then this one and this one plus burnt sienna. Okay, so that and that, those two together, and then with each of these. We know that burnt sienna is going to dull it down a little bit. Okay, but with the phthalo green, when we're using quinacridone violet, which is over here, the phthalo green blue naturally leans towards blue. Quinacridone violet is a violet that leans towards blue. Whereas quinacridone violet with the phthalo green yellow, it's opposite on the color wheel. So it's going to be even duller than what it needs to be. Do you understand? Quinacridone violet is a violet leans towards blue. Phthalo green blue is a green that leans towards blue. So they both have more blue in it. It's going to be brighter. Quinacridone violet is a red that leans towards blue, and phthalo green yellow is a green that leans towards yellow. So, but yellow is opposite on the color wheel to violet, so it's naturally going to be dull. So hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so that's why when I do my quinacridone violet with my phthalo, I like it with the blue because it's a little bit richer. So with the burnt sienna, it's not a perfect match. Now your mixture is not going to be it's going to be more semi-transparent. With alizarin crimson, you typically use it more transparent, but it's totally fine with burnt sienna, which you should have if you're doing any of my painting styles. Transparent red iron oxide is another color you can use. Sometimes, depending on the brand, it's a bit hard to find. And transparent yellow iron oxide, but burnt sienna is a staple color, so you're good to go. So experiment with whatever red violet that you have. Don't use dioxazine purple, because you'd have to add alizarin crimson to bring that more to red violet, or a neutral red, and you're kind of defeating the purpose, because all the pigments that I'm using are single pigments. Okay, the minute you start doing color mixes with the paint itself is multiple mixes, you're not going to have something as intense. So although this was only supposed to be a 5-minute demonstration, I hope you got something out of it, because alizarin crimson is something that we use a lot, especially with chromatic colors for painting flowers. I use that a lot in portraits, especially the pinky undertones. It's a great color to use. So hopefully it's something that you'll enjoy making up if you can't find it. So what to do is, if you don't have it, use the colors that you have to try to come up with something. And you can use, you could Google, even go to DecoArt and look at their palettes for alizarin crimson to try to do a color match. Manufactured colors like that for the web aren't what they actually look like in front of you, but it'll give you something close. And try to come up with something of a bright red that leans towards blue, that's more on the red but not so much on the blue. See what you can come up with. Take a picture and head on over to the community or my Facebook page. Post your pictures there for me to look at. And if you have any questions, post them there. That's where I'm hanging out. you can't post pictures on YouTube, so I don't bother with that. So head on over there, and if you have any questions, I'd be happy to help you. Alrighty, so looking forward to seeing your pics, and until you see you next time, stay inspired.